Teaching your patients isn't just about sharing facts. It's how we regulate our nervous system, build trust, and finally, we catalyze change. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Dr. Steele. I'm a board certified naturopathic doctor. I hold 7 degrees in my field, all in the natural healthcare space. I like to say that I went to school so you don't have to. However, you're in school. So, studies show that patient education actually improves compliance, decreases anxiety, and increases satisfaction with care by over 60%. So if you're new to my channel, again, welcome. This is our week 11 of Intro to Holistic Medicine. Holy cow, where did the time go? So if you are new and you're just jumping in, feel free. It is a self-paced course. You can click the link in the bio, scroll down and enroll. It's a completely free course unless you want to get a certification and move on in the training. But Intro to Holistic Medicine 1 is all about bringing back nutrition. We did a lot of patient education around nutrition, your nutrient deficiencies, how to identify them, and subjective and objective tools, and then what to do about the information that you find. And so patient education is really at the core of what we do in holistic medicine. And in fact, it's actually a therapeutic tool. I found that when patients truly understood, right, on a deep level, what was going on, again, their stress eased, they were able to name it and claim it, and then be able to execute. And so, just that awareness and bringing it into the prefrontal cortex where they could think about it, where they could understand, really helped to reduce their nervous system reactivity, especially because a lot of times I was getting patients from conventional practice where they had been running around and being told this and told that, and they'd been gaslit and told wrong information and all the things. So by the time they got to me, they were very overwhelmed, disappointed, and honestly just kind of at their wits' end, which is completely understandable. And so I had to really approach, and I still do in my practice, have to approach that delicately. And so using education and slowing everything down. I know we all want to react. We have a symptom, we want to fix it because that's the model that we've been trained in. Unfortunately, that is a very reactionary model and it really doesn't work. And so we use education to be able to empower our patients, motivate our patients, but also to hold them accountable so that they achieve the results that they're looking for. And so when we're working with a patient, as we begin to slowly educate them, we're actually re-regulating their nervous system because now we're getting them out of that reactive fight or flight, dangerous state and moving them into more of a proactive, self-empowered state. Not only that, it builds trust between the patient and the practitioner. So now the patient is seeking you for assistance and support. Now, that doesn't mean you are like the holy grail of everything, right? You don't know everything. We can't possibly know everything. But that partnership really helps for you both to really work together. I found that I learned the most actually from my patients. When I decided to kind of put my books aside and start listening to my patients, I became a much better practitioner. And so as I began to listen to my patients, interpret what they were saying, and then relay that information back to them in a very practical sense that they could use, it was tangible. What it did was it created ownership around their health. So now they felt more empowered, more self-assured because they understood, okay, so now if I need to drink half my body weight in ounces, for instance, and they had a metric to be able to test for that. So, in terms of looking at their hydration, that sort of thing. Now, all of a sudden, they see the progress. They see what happens when they were dehydrated versus when they were drinking plenty of water. So that builds, again, instant credibility, self-ownership, but also too, now they're bringing this into their lives. And so you shift that power from the provider who kind of knows everything in a sense, they don't, but that's the superiority bias that still exists, to the patient, where the patient now begins to feel more empowered, more self-assured. And so those are the things that really help to allow for that patient to heal. Teaching is a nervous system self-regulation tool, and clear information actually reduces that fear response. Most patients, again, are coming from these disempowered systems. They're coming from from places where they're not being educated, they're being gaslit, they're being shut down. And so when we teach people, we're really helping them to build more self-efficiency and eventually confidence, because now all of a sudden they're like, wow, I see this and I'm doing this and I'm getting results, even if those results are small, even if they're over an extended period of time. And coaching isn't about telling, dictating, this is the holy grail. I've seen in some posts on social media where it's like, oh, go see this person, they know everything. And that's such a dangerous approach. We do not know everything. Even with 7 degrees, I still don't know everything. I know less than I knew at the beginning. Joking, but really, I mean, the more you learn, the more you realize, the less you really know and understand. Each individual is individual, and we have to treat them as such. So it's really about, when you're guiding people, it's about asking, showing, supporting, holding space, and really allowing them to be more self-empowered. So if you found this episode helpful, like, share, subscribe, all the things. If you're in Intro to Holistic Medicine, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Definitely make sure that you respond to your discussions. And we're wrapping everything up. Well, we will take a 3-week break just to make sure everybody gets caught up. But yes, we're really excited about continuing our journey in Intro to Holistic Medicine. This week is all about patient education. So looking forward to teaching you guys even more to learn how you can be a really amazing practitioner.